There's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks. Like with Baker Mayfield, someone actually asked me, like, if Baker Mayfield wasn't on Tampa, like, if you were to go somewhere else, what team, like, should take him, should be happy about taking Baker? And if you really dive into it, like, if you're going to compare rosters and, like, which team, like, I don't know. I don't know what a good fit is for Baker Mayfield. I feel like the Arizona Cardinals could be a good spot for Baker because they have weapons. They've put a lot of investment towards the defense improving. But outside of them, like Giants, Cowboys, Eagles, Commanders, they don't need quarterbacks. The Atlanta Falcons within the division does not seem possible. The Minnesota Vikings, in my opinion, the Minnesota Vikings and the Arizona Cardinals are like the two teams that, yeah, Baker would be solid on Minnesota if they didn't have. Well, what you've got with Baker is this experience guy. Him and Sam Darnold are very similar profile in big arm, right? Prolific college career where they had a lot of experience, played in big games, right? Darnold's performance in that Rose Bowl, I want to say versus Penn State. And Baker played in a college football playoff game. Is that the loss to Georgia? Surely the Cardinals would pick some. Exactly, though. But the thing about this, though, Squiffy, let's say the Cardinals had the second pick and they did not have to take a quarterback. How powerful that would be. And they could stick and pick the best guy on the board because they were able to acquire. Because Baker Mayfield's not fetching 2 first-rounders. Is he even fetching a first-round pick? Is fascinating. Yeah, the Browns at 6-11, 7-10. Right around there. Tough division. Well, they've got the weapons. They did have a big loss, though. Chase Besantis, the guard out of A&M. Losing him is really big. I thought that he was going to be a key addition to that interior offensive line. Potentially a day one starter. Keith, I've got the Panthers winning the division again. But Minnesota seems like the perfect fit. Kyler Murray doesn't quite look like the guy there, and Tampa Bay Buccaneers just feel like they don't want to give. What's up? How we doing, Bella? They don't want to pay him what he thinks his value is. Minnesota Vikings. It's not Cleveland. Cleveland, that's not happening. Pittsburgh's interesting. Kyler, my favorite NFL team is the Chicago Bears. First and third should switch. So Saints and Panthers. Little switch up. What's up, sports? We got Notre Dame fan, it looks like, in the chat. The Fighting Irish look like I would put the Fighting Irish as my teams that get. What's going on? Good to see you, Lachlan. Overall record for all teams 294. Yeah, you guys really enjoy fact checking that. It's great. I got no issues. Came on here to talk ball instead of pouring over what it would look like for this. Like we'd probably put the Commanders maybe a little lower, maybe San Francisco one less win. Colts lower. Realistically, are there 3 teams in the AFC North that all have winning records? Probably not. How far do you think the Lions? I've got them going to the NFC title game. 12-5. One of the easier schedules. Yeah, the Chiefs I've got fringe right now. Like, just miss out 7 seed, 6 seed. I've got Oregon winning the national title of Von Gola. Von Miller signed to the Cowboys? Is that real? I haven't heard that. Is that real? Someone actually broke it to me while live. It was, I want to say, on TikTok. Someone announced the Myles Garrett trade. What do you think is the future of J.J. McCarthy? Is he even good enough to be a backup, though, perennially? Because typically a backup's a guy that, in college, like a Case Keenum, someone that set records, passing touchdowns, passing yards, a lot of experience, played a ton of games in college, where they were the guy, where they had to solve the answers to the puzzle, right? They had to get the answers to the test, and then they were in position. Whereas McCarthy, that was not him in college. He didn't have that responsibility. Like, I like my backups to throw the football a lot. I could see McCarthy being out of the NFL within 5 years. Uar Bernard? Would I be surprised if he got any playing time in the next 2 years in the regular season that's like more than 10 snaps a game? I would be surprised, but am I going to doubt that this kid is going to at some point be an impactful player? Also, no. It's going to take time. You know, Jordan Mailata was a very rare case. It's a pretty good precedent to have that guy on your team to bring in Uar Bernard with that skill set, which is one of the best in athletic history. So Von Miller confirmed, huh? To who did we say? I don't even. The Cowboys. Was it the Cowboys or the Commanders? I do think they can sweep Washington. Where do the Chargers outplay the Broncos? I would go offensive line with Alton Slater back. I'd rather have Amarion Hampton than Harvey and Dobbins. And I'd go quarterback. I think I would definitely rather take Herbert over Nick. Like, Herbert, in my opinion, is the number 6 quarterback in the league, and I'd put Nick's in like that 10, 11, 12, 13 range. So I'd go right there straight on offense. Running back, offensive tackle group, and in quarterback. And they did really make a change to the O-line with the interior. Appreciate you, T Downs. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, Alton Slater is the best offensive tackle duo in football. He can't win big games. It's true. Matter of fact, did they win that Rose Bowl game? And that was what, the 19 Rose Bowl? Von Miller could be the best player on that team on defense. I think the best player on that defense, I've been saying it. I know he's a rookie, but Caleb Downs, best player on the Cowboys defense, even as a rookie. Like, by Thanksgiving, they play Philadelphia, Thanksgiving in front of the nation. They're like, holy crap. Like, I remember this guy at Ohio State. Like, he can ball out. I've got that amount of confidence with Caleb. Lachlan, you got to keep doing the push-ups. Have to. Do you think the Titans' second-string players did better? No, it's always something. Well, more with that. What does Von Miller bring? No, I don't have an issue. Like Anthony Hill Jr., Keldrick Falk, it's going to take a little bit of time for these guys to integrate there, and Cornell Tate just wasn't in the same rhythm. I think Malik Muhammad, the 4th-round pick out of Texas, their corner, Lachlan, he could be someone that winds up being the starter opposite of Jalen Johnson within a year. Not quite as physical as Tyreek Stevenson, a little bit smaller. I think he's about 10, 12 pounds lighter. Same type of wheels, though, a 4'4" guy. Beanie Bishop, does he make the roster? I mean, the 2 interceptions, I said it as soon as it happened. The second pick, it hit him in the face mask. I would have loved to have seen him go up with his hands and make the interception actually with his hands and not have it hit him in the face and it not bounce off and then grab it. That would have been very impressive if he was able to do that. Like, guys love to cradle it when they're defensive backs. How about defensive backs spend all that time in the jugs, but if we actually catch the ball? Actually, the other guy was a bad stopped to mid-jump. The Cowboys with Von Miller, yep. Alec Bohm Glazer. Eagles 12-5 from Randy Beach. Randy, I gotta ask all these Philly fans, even if they're not Philly fans per se, do we believe our roster is as good as it was a year ago? Because if we can get on the understanding that the roster is not at the level it was last season, then we can actually start to have a conversation. But there's a lot of Eagles fans that will deny that and have full belief that the roster is as good, if not better, than it was a year ago. And there's a lot of confidence in this offensive coordinator, Sean Mannion. What do we got here on YouTube? Chiefs missing the playoffs. I think they're on the fringe. Randy. Wait, Randy, the thumbs up. Is the thumbs up saying that you believe that the roster is better or not? Because you lose Blankenship, N'Kobe Dean, and Phillips. A.J. Brown's one of the best 8-10 receivers in the league. Confidence don't win football games. It's execution, Lonnie. I can't say that any better myself. Not even Greg Olson can on a broadcast. What's up, Callan? Great to see you, Callan, back on here. I fully agree that they have to execute. And if we're being honest, Lonnie, Jalen Hurts has incredible value as a fantasy quarterback. But A.J. Brown was a big part of why they got to the Super Bowl a couple years ago and they got beat by KC. A big part of why they won the Super Bowl. So we haven't quite seen Jalen Hurts have a sustained period of success without A.J. Brown yet. We can go back to where he's actually played at a really high level. So you lose that kind of a caliber player. That's the kind of guy that people really like to trade for. Let's just say that I am skeptical. And that's why I've got the Eagles as a 10-7 team next year and not running away with the NFC East. I think the Titans will have more wins than the Colts. Well, look, if Daniel Jones goes down, right, they lost their last 6 games. This is my list, yes. Where they were, 8-2. Got beat by the Chiefs in OT. I think they lost to Houston the next week. He goes down against the Jaguars. And they lost their last 7. Lost their last 5 without Daniel Jones. The Falcons going 6-11. Well, look, they had the second most sacks in the league last year. I want to say they had 57 sacks last season. So they had a great pass rush, right? First of all, Jalen Walker, you expected a big jump from him year 1 to 2 out of Georgia. 15th overall pick 2 years ago. Torn ACL done for the year. James Pierce Jr., probably a guy that we were expecting double-digit sacks again. Suspended the first 8 games. Leonard Floyd's a year older. And you didn't have a first-round pick because you had that trade with the Rams, right? They picked 13th overall. And the quarterback position. We have no confidence in the Falcons quarterback. Like, they got weapons. Sure. I could see the Saints taking the South. They are a team that has been hyped up this offseason to be close to double-digit wins. Wouldn't be shocked. How are the Steelers going 9-8 when their first 8 games? They might be 7-1. Wait, schedule prediction for who? Who are we asking for the schedule prediction for? End of the season, their quarterback caught on fire. Oh, yeah, the Saints, yeah. Tyler Shuck was playing well. Oh, the Jets schedule prediction? Lost week 1 at the Titans, lost to Green Bay, Detroit, and Chicago. A win against the Browns in week 5, so 1-4. A loss at New England, so 1-5. A win against the Dolphins, let's go 2-5. They got the Raiders, I'll go loss 2-6. Or a win, could be 3-5. Let's call it 3-5. And then a loss at the Chiefs, Bills, they got the Chargers, so from 3-5 to 3-8. A loss at the Dolphins, so 3-9. Lost to the Broncos, 3-10. Beat the Cardinals, 4-10. Lose to New England, 4-11. Maybe beat Minnesota, 5-12. 5-12. 6-11 for the Jets. I don't quite think they're a 4-win team this year. Packers I've got as the 7 seed once again. 10-7. 13-4 for the Texans if CJ Stroud locks in. Yep, that's where we're going. Yeah, if they don't beat the Vikings, then we're looking at 5-12. They got Tavondre Sweat back at defensive tackle. What did we see? There's Bills versus Rams Super Bowl. Sign me up for that. I'd love that. DJ Moore looked pretty good yesterday. Brock Love. Oh, what's going on, Brock? How we doing? Georgia winning the SEC for the third year in a row. How many SEC title games have they played in a row, Justice? Would it be 21, 2, 3, 4? Is that 5 in a row? I believe it is 5. Because they won the title in 21, won the title in 22. One of those years they got beat by Bama, then beat them, and then I think that was in 2021. Because 2022, when they beat TCU, I want to say they beat what, LSU? Yeah, no, Jaden Daniels was 23, the 23 season. Who did Georgia play in the 2022 SEC title game? Bears. Who did Georgia beat in the 2022 SEC title game? Can someone help me out there? I drafted Burrow. Alabama won the. But Alabama wasn't in the playoff in 2022 though. Because it was Michigan, Ohio State, TCU, Georgia in 2022. I drafted Burrow, Chase. You are cooked. You can't draft that many guys on the same team. Wait, 2022 SEC title. Georgia beat LSU 50-30. What about the 2023 SEC title? Oh, so that was, yeah, that's it. It was. Yeah, so that was the year they beat LSU. I was right on it, yeah. Yeah, Alabama won in 23. That was the game where Brock Bowers was playing on one leg. Yeah, Bama won, and then Georgia beat him in the Natty. Who had the There's a big interception. I forget who that. Detroit versus everybody. Go Lions. Nice. The Detroit Lions hype. Guys, we're going to be here for about 10 more minutes, and then we are going to hop off. 1-3 in the last 5, but 2 in the last 5. Yeah, 3 in the yeah. 1 the last 2, and in 2022, yeah, and 2 losses to Bama. So yeah, 3 in the last 5. Who is beating the Rams? It's hard to just say like a specific, but if you categorize it like groups of games, like 2-3 games, you can come up with losses, I think, for Los Angeles. That schedule's tough. Like, split with 49ers, split with Seattle. They played Buffalo, I believe, on a Monday night. They played the Chiefs, I believe, on a Thursday night. They play the Packers also at SoFi. They play the Chargers also, obviously, at SoFi as well. No, there's losable games. They play the Cowboys, I believe, also at SoFi. Any chance Cardinals finish the top? Man, on a boldness scale, that would be a 10 for the Cardinals to win the NFC West, to win that division. That would be shocking. A shocking turn of events if they were to pull that off. There is a chance, sure. There's always a chance. There's always a chance. All right, they got weapons. A couple of draft picks from the last few years. I got Rams over Texans 24-20 in my Super Bowl prediction. That's where we're going. Oh. Wait, so 2022 was... Did Jaden Daniels get hurt in the 2022 SEC title game? What happened there? So Jaden, I'm trying to go back. Bills are better than the Pats. Yeah, I got them as so. He got hurt in the second quarter, aggravated an ankle, and then they got steamrolled. Chargers winning 12 games with their schedule. Schedule is, I mean, the division, but still got 2 very winnable games against the, I think, like 4-2 against the division, right? The reason is what vibes? Oh, why are the Bills better than the Patriots this year? Well, I think he would probably agree with me that. No, we're not. We're actually not going to do that argument. I think that Buffalo rolls out this season with a better overall. I hate the schedule argument. I've heard that so often this offseason. People talking about the schedule last. I mean, it is valid. It is valid talking about a weaker schedule that they faced, but then we saw them beat 3 of the best 5 defenses in football in consecutive weeks, right? And it may struggle. Yes, the offensive line struggled, but they improved the offensive line. Look, when it comes to it, they are very similar. They both got number ones. They both went out and said, all right, we need a 1 in DJ. Patriots needed a 1 in A.J. Brown. Offensive line, Bills have a little bit more of an advantage there. New England improved that. Defensively, you'd probably rather take New England's. You would take the Patriots. But Allen versus May, I've got May taking a step back. Doesn't necessarily mean he's a worse quarterback. But Josh Allen, as you can see, is my pick. Pats added, they added Lomu. They added Gabe Akis from Illinois. They added a wide receiver in the draft. Oh, they added Dobbs. Yeah, they added Dobbs. They got Dobbs in free agency as number 2 with A.J. Brown. So I would agree. I think the Patriots actually have a better roster than they did last season. But with the schedule that they face, like, not going to say coming down to earth because they're a great team, but having a little bit more of a struggle based on the competition week to week. It's true. In just 2 seasons, Drake May's already gone further than Allen. 6 straight divisional round appearances and no Super Bowl appearances for Josh Allen. Yeah. Coaching is better. Vrabel. Yeah, I would take Vrabel over all but probably 5 coaches in the league. Swap Bengals and Ravens. Okay. Well, the Bengals certainly have a schedule that's manageable. The West is crap. I don't think the West is crap. Bama winning the SEC. GOAT. Who's going to be their starting quarterback? I think it's Austin Mack from what I've been looking at. And let's say there's a loss in the first 5 games. Like you're 4-1 and you're looking for a change. And you're looking for an invigoration for an offense that just is nowhere near where it was a year ago at Ty Simpson. Like, bam, Keelan Russell, a guy that can run the football. Crazy athlete. Like, that's where I would probably go. I could see the Chiefs coming last in the West. Roster getting older. Mansour Delane, you're relying on a rookie instead of one of the top. At the very least, we can call Trent McDuffie one of the best 7 or 8 corners in the league. Like, he's paid. Can definitely say he's a top 5 guy to some people, but there's no doubt he's in that upper echelon, right? If there's 64 starting outside corners in football, he's in that top 8 of that group. That top 8th 1/8 percentile. 7-8 at best, Shane? 7-8 at best for the Chargers is wild. How did the Dolphins look? Thank you for the heart me, Sterling. I thought Malik Willis looked good. Clearly saw that this guy has that mobility to his game, and he just looks clean, getting the ball out on time. Right, the motion looks a little bit cleaner than it was a few years ago already. Yeah, you got to show the Niners respect. They're a good team. Last year proved that. Got one of the best 4 coaches in the league, and gotta have a healthy McCaffrey. Let's be honest. I'm not excited about the news I've heard about McCaffrey and the tightness during camp. Week 1 against the Rams, that's a big game. You've got them at your place. If you could pull off a win in Australia, and that you play them at your place the next time, that'd be huge. Wait, but yeah, Caleb Douglas had that amazing catch. Jacob Rodriguez. I actually didn't even. Did he play? I didn't even actually miss that. Jacob Rodriguez. Did he make the? Yeah, Tommy Tough. I do play fantasy football, guys. We got 3 more minutes, and then we are going to hop off, guys. Thank you so much for being here and watching. The Dolphins. Jacob Rodriguez. Bears take the North again. Let's do it. Max Llewellyn. That was Iowa. Oh, there he is. Jacob Rodriguez. So I guess he only played for like a drive, right? Saints only winning 7 games. Dimitri, I don't know what to do with New Orleans. Look, that division's the worst in the league. You improved. I don't like the news report about Jordan Tyson. All we've heard about the guy is he's so talented. And you watch him at Arizona State for those 2 years, and it is like, if there's not a big SEC or Big Ten game on, I'm going to go watch the Arizona State Sun Devils play some football because of number 0. And go watch Jordan Tyson. Him and Sam Levitt. Electric combination. Like that game against Texas Tech last year, pinnacle programming. They had a comeback win over TCU on the road. People remember that game? 4th and goal, I want to say, and it's 4th and Tyson gets the ball right to him on a slant, had a wide open tight end over the middle, looked him off, and went right to Jordan Tyson to score and take the lead and beat TCU and Josh Hoover, the guy that Kurt Signetti and the defending champions are relying on. But you guys got to stay on the field. Rate my team, Dak and Williams. Dak and Caleb Williams? You have 2? Or are you saying Kyron Williams and running back? No. You have 2 quarterbacks? Bijan Robinson, James Cook, and Stevenson, Abuka, Adams, Waddle. I mean, this sounds like a loaded team. I did see that, Talisa. Von Miller to the Dallas Cowboys. I've heard it. Cowboys bringing in a veteran, experienced player that will help out. I mean, if anything, the rookie, Malachi Lawrence from UCF. Quarterback, 2 quarterback league. Thank you for sharing the live, amen. All right, guys, we are going to hop off right now. Last 30 seconds here. If you got one final question, we will get to it. But I appreciate all of you. If you have not followed or you have not subscribed, please make sure that you do so right now. We are going to continue to go live as we are really close to the start of the football season. First action will be in less than 2 weeks. TCU, North Carolina, San Jose State at USC. We're going to be talking ball for the next 6 months, getting us towards the start of the year now and then covering it. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see every